Hi everyone, and welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
I'm Chickling.
And we're on part 2 of how to live your best life in a tidy home. So yesterday we kind of talked about how having a messy house can affect not just your house, but you in a bad way.
So you'll need to tidy up to stop the mess from piling up and getting on top of you.
Right, and this is not an easy task, and it takes a long time to get right.
However, you need to get started, and this is how you start. What do you do?
Look at the things you have and decide whether you'll keep them or throw them out.
And when you're thinking about this, ask yourself, what is this purpose of the thing? Has this purpose been achieved?
So you do this with clothes and then books, papers, kitchen things, and bedroom things.
Once you've decided what you're going to keep, make sure you store it properly.
Choose a specific place for each thing and make sure you return it there after you use it.
So keep doing this or else the mess will pile up again.
So today we're going to look at some specific tips for storing specific categories of things in your house. Let's read through day 2.
Reading. Live your best life in a tidy home. Now that you've gotten rid of the things you don't need, you'll need to store what you're keeping. Here are some great ways to solve your storage problem. 1. Clothes. You'll need a way to store what's left. Except for coats, suits, and certain special items, it's better to fold most clothes than to hang them. Fold or roll clothes like underwear, socks, and t-shirts so you can pack them in drawers vertically. This saves space, and it's easier to see them than if they're piled on top of each other. 2. Kitchen items. You can separate kitchen utensils in special containers. For example, a divider with sections for knives, spoons, and forks can help organize kitchen drawers. Don't forget about space on the walls, too. You may be able to hang pots, pans, and other large items from hooks. 3. Bathroom. In the bathroom, keep as few things on surfaces as possible. Use trays or holders to store items like toothbrushes and hair products. Save space by hanging towels from hooks, where they'll also dry well. Don't worry about making your home look perfect. Just make sure you only keep items you want and need. They should be out of the way when you're not using them, but easy to find when you need them. You may want to label plastic containers so you can easily read what's inside. You'll feel great living in your tidy home.
So day 2 starts by saying, now that you've gotten rid of the things you don't need, you'll need to store what you're keeping.
所以文章一开始就说，现在我们已经丢弃我们不需要的东西了，我们就必须找一个方式放置要保留的物品哦。And next it says, here are some great ways to solve your storage problem.
Yeah, now this can be difficult because you don't always have the biggest house to live in.
No.
So you need to be a bit creative, a bit clever, and basically use a lot of common sense about when you're storing things. And we're going to start with number 1, clothes.
I need the advice. 所以第一个呢是有关衣服的存放方式。那么 the article 就说了 you'll need a way to store what's left.
Here's how to do it. It says, except for coats, suits, and certain special items, it's better to fold most clothes than to hang them.
That makes sense. That takes up less space, right? And the article goes on, fold or rolled clothes like underwear, socks, and t-shirts so you can pack them in drawers vertically.
So here the article talks about storing your clothes vertically. Vertically is an adverb and it means going from up to down or down to up rather than side to side, which is horizontally. Now, when we're talking about storing clothes in this way, what we mean is you fold them up and you kind of put them in rows like that instead of flat on top of each other. I guess you could say they're both kind of vertical, but if you store them like that, kind of almost like they're books and you only see the spine of the book with a title, you save space, and because you can see all the clothes, you won't have to go digging around to find the one you want. That's what we mean by storing the clothes vertically in the drawers.
Yeah, 所以就是垂直的嘛。Vertically 就是垂直的意思，所以文章说除了比较特定的衣服啊，像是西装大衣比较特别，大致上呢折起来比挂起来会比较好，比较不会占空间哦。那么你也可以把它用垂直的方式放在抽屉里面。
Yeah, I used to hang my t-shirts. Now I don't.
T-shirt, okay.
Just because I didn't have more drawers in my old house, I had more cupboard space. Now I have less space to hang, but more drawers. So t-shirts and a few other things have gone to be folded and piled up, like stored vertically, and I still hang like shirts, pants, a few other things like that. Like the article says, suits, coats, and so on. And the article explains this saves space, and it's easier to see them than if they're piled on top of each other. So this is what we mean. You store them nicely and you can easily find what you're looking for. Don't just shove them in a drawer.
Right, 所以这样一来呢，我们就可以节省空间，也比较容易能找到。比起全部叠在一起来说的话，那 next up we will look at kitchen items.
Okay, so this tip starts by saying you can separate kitchen utensils in special containers. So we have a few words to look at here, starting with separate. Now remember, this is a verb, so you say it separate. The adjective, you just say separate. So different pronunciations, but same spelling. To separate means to put different things in different areas. So to make sure that things are apart, not together. If two people separate, they go in different directions. So this could mean to break up with a boyfriend or girlfriend. To separate kitchen things means don't put them all together in one place. Put them in different places depending on what they are. Here's another example for books. I separate my storybooks from my school books.
Separate 就是使什么东西分开，所以把两个东西分开就是 to separate A from B。所以比如说呢 ，She still finds it hard to separate egg whites from yolks.
Oh, that is hard.
I know， 但可以当分居的意思哦。那么如果呢要当形容词的话，我们可以念 separate， 所以就是分开的。那么 to keep something separate from something 就是一个用法。So what are we separating here?
Well, we're separating kitchen utensils. A utensil is anything you use for a particular task or job. So a kitchen utensil could be the knives and forks you eat with, it could be the knives you cut food with, or it could be like the special things you use for getting juice out of a lemon or grating cheese into small pieces. But kitchen utensils also means electronic stuff, food blenders and rice cookers and the rest.
Yeah, 所以 utensil 老师刚刚提到好多器具，对不对？跟用具。那么 kitchen utensils 就是厨房器具。那老师提到的刀叉呀、挤柠檬的啦、磨起司的等等，甚至是电子类那些都可以当厨房器具哦。还有好多像是 sieve，就是筛网啊 ，or measuring spoons and cups， 量尺、量杯，或者是 vegetable peeler。garlic press, kitchen scales, rolling pin, can opener, blender 等等，全部都是。
Yeah, we could go on like forever, but we're not going to, because the idea is to put these different utensils in special containers. A container is something that contains another thing. It has something inside it. A box is the obvious example, but we can also think about bags, drawers, or food containers like cans, cartons, bottles, and things. All of these types of stuff are called containers. For example, and you can use them for different purposes, you could say, I use this old teacup as a container for all the pens on my desk.
所以这是容器嘛，那么 container 也可以当货柜的意思。那这个字也很好记，因为它其实就是 contain 这个动词加上来的，包含的意思。比如说 some magazines contain nothing but gossip. 所以文章的意思就是说，你可以使用特别的容器来分隔厨房的用具。
Here's some more explanation on how this works. For example, a divider with sections for knives, spoons, and forks can help organize kitchen drawers. A divider is something that separates one thing from another, or several things from each other. So in a paper folder, you might have a divider that separates two stacks of paper, maybe the math class stuff on one side and then the English class stuff with a big colorful piece of card. That's a divider.
Right, 所以这是分隔器，那又是一个很好记 divide 加上一个 r 就变成这样了。那么 divide 就是隔开，比如说 to divide A from B， 那或者 to divide something into 把什么分成，比如说 there were 8 students in the room, so we divided the pizza into 8 slices. 那么它的名词是 division， 就是分配啊，或者是部门的意思。And the kitchen dividers have different sections in them, right?
That's right, different sections. So a section is one particular area of a larger thing. So these kitchen dividers have different little kind of areas to keep all the knives in one, and they're apart from the forks. The spoons have their own little area or section. Maybe big spoons have one section and small spoons have another. We can basically break up any kind of larger organization or anything else into smaller sections to make it easier to look at and to understand and to organize. A lot of times you'll see this on the kinds of tests you take. For example, we could say there are 3 sections to this test: a writing part, a reading part, and a listening part.
Section 就是部分，那么 section 也可以当动词，比如说 to section something off 就是隔离某一个区域，比如说 part of the road was sectioned off for shooting a film。那么文章就是例如呢，分隔器它有一格一格的嘛，你就可以把刀子、汤匙、叉子等等不同的东西好好的分类你的抽屉。
Okay, so that's part of the kitchen stuff. And when you're organizing your kitchen, the article has another piece of advice. It says, don't forget about space on the walls too.
所以也不要忘记墙壁上的空间哦。The article says you may be able to hang pots, pans, and other large items from hooks.
Yes, I definitely do this. Get a few things out of the way, just hook it up. Because a hook is a thing that's curved in some way. Think of the hooks that fishermen use to catch fish. Hooks can catch in things and you can hold things on them, which you can't do with a straight thing like a pin or a knife. You can even use a hook to move things. A good example I thought of recently, of course, the character Captain Hook from Peter Pan. One of his hands is a hook.
Yeah.
So that's all the thing you need to think of.
所以就是钩子挂钩 I always hang my cutting board with hooks. Yeah, 所以文章就是说可以把锅子啊、煎锅或其他大型的用具把它挂起来。
Yeah, I put sieves on hooks. I put a few, often if you've got like a big spoon or something for cooking with, you can put them on a hook. And it's good for actually letting them dry as well. Okay, so that's the kitchen. Time to move on to number 3, bathroom.
所以接下来讲到浴室咯。Here the article says, in the bathroom, keep as few things on surfaces as possible.
Okay, now what this means is the surfaces like around the shower or on top of the sink, you don't want to like just fill them up because you'll probably just keep knocking things over and it just gets messy. The tip continues, use trays or holders to store items like toothbrushes and hair products. So a tray is a flat surface. Often there's a raised area around the edge. Often there are handles on the tray you can hold. Now you can put things on a tray to store them or to carry them. Food is often carried from one area to another on a tray. You can have smaller trays in bathrooms or kitchens just to make space to put things on so you don't have it all on the floor or on the sink or in the shower. Now, in the bathroom, a tray might be more like a little shelf. You put like your soap on it, that kind of thing. So here's another example of how we can use tray. On the tray were a teapot, 4 cups, and a small jug of milk.
所以 tray 就是盘子或托盘 ，a tray of something 就是一盘什么，比如说一托盘的饮料 ，a tray of drinks， 或一托盘的面包 ，a tray of bread。那么有另外一个字是 tray bake， 它就是切片蛋糕。因为其实我们有时候烤东西的时候，你会用一个 square 正方形的。
A baking tray.
对 baking tray.
That's what they're called.
对。然后方形模具烤，所以烤出来的东西叫做 tray bake。比如说 chocolate tray bake. And one thing you can put on the trays is hair products.
So here, generally, the word product means anything that's made or produced. But specifically, hair products are things you put on your hair to wash it, to make it stronger, to make it smell nicer, to style it in a cool way, to protect it, and more. Now, we can use product in the same way for nail products, so stuff for painting your nails. Skin products, stuff you put on your skin, hands, face, and more. So we could say, in this store, the hair products are all kept together, but the skin products are separated into hand ones and face ones.
OK, 那我们看一下 product 这个单字。Products 就是产品的意思啦，那奶制品就是 dairy products。那皮肤保养品老师刚刚有讲 skin care products。那在数学上面呢，用乘法算出来的数字也是这一个字哦。比如说 the product of 7 and 3 is 21。那么 produce 就是它的动词，生产制造的意思。那这个字呢，如果变名词就会变 produce， 就会变农产品的意思。那通常是指大量的食品或产品。那文章中的意思就是说，像是牙刷啊、头发的用品，可以用托盘或者是支撑架来放。
So here's another tip for bathrooms, and it's kind of the same as the kitchen one.
Yeah.
Save space by hanging towels from hooks where they'll also dry well.
Yeah, 所以使用挂钩去挂毛巾呢，可以节省空间，也可以晾得比较干。So now we're getting into our conclusion. It starts by saying, don't worry about making your home look perfect.
And the article then says, just make sure you only keep items you want and need. To make sure is to be certain. And we very often use this phrasal verb for giving advice.
Say make sure 就是确认、确保。那文章的意思就是说，不用担心家里完不完美，你只要确保你留下来的东西都是用得到。
Okay, and then we continue with a bit of extra information. They, so that's all the things you've got, they should be out of the way when you're not using them, but easy to find when you need them. If something is out of the way, then it's not in the way. It won't bother you. It's been put away and you won't trip over it or have to move it just to keep doing what you're doing.
So out of the way 就是不碍事，你碰不到它。那什么东西挡到你了，就是 be in your way. You're in my way. 你挡到我了，走开。所以文章就是说，物品呢，在你用不到的时候就不碍你的事，不过你需要它的时候，你也可以轻松找到。就像 Pat 老师的 desk 就很干净嘛。But if you have all these storage boxes, how do you know what's in each one?
The article says you may want to label plastic containers so you can easily read what's inside. So here we're using the word label as a verb. It means to put a label on something or just write on the side of a box, something like that. An actual label as a noun could be some paper with a sticky side and another side you can write on, or it could be something you like tie to a handle. For example, using the verb, you could say, I label all my folders so I can see at a glance what papers are inside them.
所以 label 就是贴标签，那当名词呢，就是标签或称号或公司品牌的意思 or even 标志。所以唱片公司就是 record label， 你可以这样讲。那你也可以造一个句子 Her closet is full of designer label clothes. 那就代表品牌的衣服。那文章呢，就是说甚至也可以在塑胶容器上面贴标签啊，就能清楚的知道里面放了什么。
And the article finishes by saying, "You'll feel great living in your tidy home."
耶！所以希望你干净的家，让你的人生非常的美好。And hopefully what we talked about and all the ideas we gave you guys work for you. And now it's time to go to our For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So today's question is, do you have difficulty cleaning your room? Why or why not?
I do. And as I mentioned in our first day's episode, right? I have too many clothes. I actually have a little area. It's like a little walk-in closet that I have, but it's full of clothes. And now the clothes are all on the floor. I can't find a way to like hang them. There is no way I can do it. I don't know how. I'm just going to try what we talked about today and see if it works.
Yeah, or go back and maybe check out our capsule wardrobe article sometime last year. That'll help.
Yeah.
I guess probably the major difficulty we have is a small boy who likes to get things out of boxes and play with different things and move them around.
So cute though.
Yeah, he's not old enough yet for us to say like, don't do that or tidy up. But if you say, hey, let's put all your books in this box or all your cars in this box, he'll do it because he thinks it's a game. So yeah, you can train your children to be your cleaners.
Oh my goodness.
But they won't always do it and they won't always do it by themselves. So yeah, that's the difficulty, just having to kind of look after a small child. And once you have one, you have all the extra stuff you need for the child.
Diapers, toys.
Yeah, so it does make it difficult, and that's the prime difficulty. If it's just me, by myself, I have a super clean, tidy room.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, the more people you've got, the more difficult it gets. So there you go. Okay, that's all the time we've got for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. For English for You, I'm Pat.
I'm Shikling.
We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review. Separate. The teacher separated the class into groups of 4 students for their projects. Container. Melissa didn't eat all the food, so she put the rest into a container to save for later. Section. This section of the city is famous for its tall buildings and designer shops, while another part of the city is full of factories. Tray. Francis is a waiter at a party and is carrying a tray of drinks for people to enjoy. Product. You can find the mop and other cleaning products in this room. Label. I label my lunchboxes with my name so no one else will take them out of the refrigerator and eat my lunch.
智慧小补帖
Vertically. Utensil. Divider. Hook.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net